I can't think of another fandom in the world where people will just believe anything, where the lines between fact and fiction have become so blurred for people. And today I'm going to show you exactly what has happened. Daisy Ridley just put to rest the entire argument that the people who don't like Disney Star Wars are racist, misogynist, incels, bigots, and all those things. She just destroyed that entire false narrative. But these people continue to just believe it and spew it out. It really shows you that they just cannot see and identify reality. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Coach here for Nick here at Echo Base Network. We are honored by your presence. Today we're looking at Daisy Ridley says sexism from Star Wars fans is blown out of proportion, and we're going to see how fans are responding to that. So it came out just the other day where she was interviewed on NBC. And you can see the false narrative here being played out by NBC. Daisy Ridley says sexism from Star Wars fans is blown out of proportion, but look at the subheading. Ridley was asked about some online uproar from fans after filmmaker Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy was announced as the director of Star Wars New Jedi Order. You can't show me any receipt, NBC can't, no one can, of someone being in an uproar because Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy was a female when she was first introduced. That's not the uproar at all. The uproar is because what she said. It's 2024. It's about time a female got to create a Star Wars story. That's what's most important to Sharmeen and Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy. And I'll show you the evidence there, like you need it, in just a moment. Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy also is a self-professed activist feminist who has said on multiple occasions, "I like to make men uncomfortable." So you could twist that however you want to. Those are the facts. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman. But there's a group of fans who hates anyone who is anti-Disney Star Wars. If you are a person who is loyal to George Lucas Star Wars, what Star Wars, the Star Wars that we grew up with, the Star Wars that we will pay tribute to and honor here at our channel, if you're opposed to Disney Star Wars in any way, if you don't think it's good or whatever, then you get all of these labels thrown at you immediately by these people because they need it to be real. They have to justify. It's really quite sad. These people know deep down inside, even though they'll never admit it, and this is my opinion here, okay? They know that Disney Star Wars is failing. Kathleen Kennedy knows, Rian Johnson knows, J.J. Abrams knows, Disney knows. Star Wars is failing. So who do we blame? Those people. Come on, man. That you cannot throw labels like that. And Daisy Ridley just destroyed that argument. But these people are still blind to reality. Because Daisy Ridley said, "I think my take is things get blown out of proportion and the interactions I've had with people have been nothing but wonderful and supportive. I've only ever been embraced, and I think we're going to make a great film." And Daisy Ridley didn't stop there. A couple days ago, Variety released the article with Daisy Ridley, and she talks about Star Wars. She's asked in this article about her upcoming Rey movie. And they said, "You're reprising your role as Rey in a new Star Wars movie directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. How will the franchise's first female filmmaker impact the series?" And here's Daisy Ridley's excellent answer. She's 2 for 2. The short answer is, I don't know. I'm excited to do the job, but not because Sharmeen is a woman. If Daisy Ridley's not careful, those people who were pointing their fingers at the anti-Disney crowd, calling us incel, racist, misogynist, and everything else, those people are going to turn on Daisy Ridley. You just watch. It will happen. We've seen it before. Do you remember this? When Kathleen Kennedy said Star Wars wants female directors for the franchise, but they didn't like it. They didn't like it because she says, "There's nothing we'd like more than to find a female director for Star Wars." Well, that's a problem right there. There should be plenty you want more. Like, how about a good story? How about a good movie? How about making it honor the past? How about making Star Wars grow again and become relevant in the world today, which it's not. But anyways, there's nothing we'd like more than to find a female director for Star Wars. There is an assumption made by the people involved. It should be predominantly men. There are women who are Star Wars fans. That's what's so insane. Then she continues, we need to not go to a filmmaker who's done one movie and expect them to come in and do something the size of Star Wars without having an opportunity to find other movies they can do along the way. And after Kathleen said that statement right there, all these hit pieces started up, because these same people who are attacking us for not liking Disney Star Wars because it's not the way that we want it to be as a fan, they were attacking Kathleen Kennedy at that time for her statement. Women still aren't good enough to direct Star Wars, apparently. And then it says, in an interview with Variety, current head of Lucasfilm Kathleen Kennedy said the studio is looking for female directors or filmmakers for a Star Wars movie. Great. She then implied that the process is a slow one because they're gigantic films and you can't come into them with essentially no experience. And then, okay, this statement, my friends, is bullshit. And the article continues, and it literally lamblasts Kathleen Kennedy, and very hot criticism here coming from The Verge. And this was all over the place. These people will eat their own if they don't get what they want. But you already know what's going to happen. Kathleen Kennedy is going to respond in kind to these people because these are the people that she plays to. Here's another article over at Bleeding Cool. Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kennedy under fire for female director comments. So then Kathy felt the need to come out and clarify. Kathleen Kennedy clarifies her comments on a female Star Wars director. She smooths it over, and then you know what happens next over the next few years. All of the female actors, you're getting the female directors for the live-action shows, and now we're getting Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. I don't have a problem with any of the women getting jobs. That is absolutely not a problem with me. The problem is when that becomes the agenda, when that becomes the thing that is most important. In Kathleen Kennedy's own words, we'd like nothing more than fill in the blank. There it is. The Mary Sue was actually extra salty. We're still not buying Kathleen Kennedy's clarified excuses about Star Wars and female directors. Again, folks, these are the people that she is playing to. These are the people that she wants to please first. And as far as the fans are concerned, here's the sad part of it. You see discussing film with their post. When offered the role of Rey, J.J. Abrams told Daisy Ridley to understand the scale. This is not a role in a movie. This is a religion for people. It changes things on a level that is inconceivable. Daisy Ridley went on to talk about how she felt a great deal of pressure, how her whole world changed, how she got so nervous that she was developing holes within her stomach wall. Okay, but she didn't say anything about fans. But look at these comments. This is so sad to read. I hate Star Wars fans and bigots. Daisy Ridley was not a problem. What went wrong was Lucasfilm not having a plan. Shaking my head. Well, who said anything about bigots? Who said anything about toxic Star Wars fans? You did, commenter. Daisy Ridley didn't, because that is a false narrative. It continues. Hearing something like this makes me feel so bad for Daisy Ridley. I agree. Of course, this is where her breakout was, and I'm glad she got the attention because she's a great actress, but the fact she went through this anxiety, the misogyny, and has to be tied to that for life just sucks. Who said anything about that? Daisy Ridley didn't. And to bring it home, it's not as simple as, we just didn't like the movie. Smelly people were harassing and bullying the actors, particularly the actresses, for years because they didn't like a script that they didn't write. Where are the receipts for bullying any of these people? I know that Moses Ingram had a couple of DMs or whatever, okay? I don't remember seeing them. I never saw a shred of evidence about Kelly Marie Tran. But people like to jump on board and say that they were bullied off social media, that these racist, incel, bigot, misogynist people, whatever, give them any label that you want to. They try to say that everybody who is anti-Disney Star Wars are those people, and the majority of us are not. We're actually a lot of really good people that don't have a lot of hate in our hearts. I mean, it's actually quite crazy. The people who hate people are the people who are proponents of Disney Star Wars. And I'm not saying they all do. I won't generalize like they do. I won't label them all like they do. That's the issue that we're having here. And they refuse to have the conversations. And then they call us things like, well, you're MAGA, you're right wing, you're a Trump supporter too, and you're an insurrectionist and all of these things. And it just gets so crazy how you don't know anything about me other than I'm a fan of Star Wars that doesn't like the direction that Disney's taking us in. And that's it. But you can't handle that. You need an outlet. You need someone to attack because you know it's not going all that well. And here we are. Did Kelly Marie Tran get harassed? Probably. Did Moses Ingram get harassed? Probably. But I would assume very little. Here's what I think is most likely. I think that in Kelly Marie Tran's case and in Ahmad Best's case, it wasn't from fans who were racist or whatever label you want to give them. I think that the actors were blurring the lines between the art, their role, and themselves. I think they're worried about their career because they know they were a major part of something that was a disaster. And you're not going to be able to walk away from a disaster like that and just be in a movie. When there's massive backlash, so many Star Wars fans were hitting the exit signs. Who's going to hire you to go be in a movie now? Your career just got destroyed because you have Star Wars on your resume. Because it's not 1983 anymore. Star Wars isn't what it once was. And your resume was destroyed and took a massive hit because you rolled the dice and you got in Disney Star Wars and it didn't work out for you. I'm sorry that happened, but that's part of your professional life. So in their cases, I would say, let's increase our professionalism a little bit. Let's understand what's actually happening. And for the fans, stop lashing out at the people who don't like Disney Star Wars and throwing labels their way because we're saying things that you don't like when we're not the things that you think that we are. That's false narrative. Stop it. Go outside and take a deep breath of actual, real air. And I mean that respectfully. It's just very sad that Star Wars fans will blur the lines between fact and fiction, between what has actually been said that we have receipts for, and just making up their own narrative. Star Wars, more than anything, has that. People do not know reality. They can't see it because they just shout things out into the ether and believe that it's true, just like NBC News here. They're literally feeding the hate mongers who happen to be lovers of Disney Star Wars. That is a generalized statement, but for the most part, I stand behind it. Thank you guys for being here. Let me know in the comments what you think about this one. We are You Are Echo Base Network. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you on the next one.